Food is a basic human need. We need food to survive. In ancient Mesopotamia, near both the Tigris and Euphrates River, the agricultural revolution revolutionized humanity. The agricultural revolution began roughly around 12,000 years ago and led to the domestication of both plants and animals. Ultimately, this evolved humanity into civilization. Over the next thousands of years, food production became more modernized. With the start of the Industrial Revolution in the 1700s, early industrial technologies mixed with agriculture created a hybridity of both. Eventually, by the 20th century, this hybrid accelerated and introduced biotechnology to agriculture. This would forever change the way we eat. When you eat a meal, do you ever wonder what ingredients are in it? Or where the ingredients came from? Well, the answer to that is more complex than you think. If you live in the United States, it is very likely that the foods you eat were created by genetically modifying them. These are what we call genetically modified organisms, or simply GMOs. GMOs are a huge part of American agriculture. According to statistics, nearly 80% of conventional processed food is made up of GMO ingredients. In fact, 92% of all corn grown in the U.S. is genetically engineered. From that perspective, corn is used to produce many common foods you likely consume, including corn syrups, used for sweeteners in many foods and drinks, corn starch, used for thickening foods such as soups and gravies, corn meal, used for the breading of fried foods, corn oil, used for frying, and corn-based snacks such as popcorn. The question many people may have is, are GMOs safe for use? In this video, we will try to answer those questions. However, the content will be explained in a neutral way, not supportive or unsupportive of GMOs. But if you would like to give your valued opinion, please do so in the comments section below. First, what exactly are GMOs? As mentioned before, GMOs are formally called genetically modified organisms. A definition of GMOs is that they are organisms who are alive, whose genetic material has been modified using biotechnology. Manipulation of DNA within the organism is used to change certain traits that are not associated with the original organism. This may sound like something out of a Frankenstein movie, but it really isn't. The science of biotechnology is an innovative field and requires a lot of intricate work. Basically, when an organism is genetically engineered, these organisms are designed to possess unique traits that will protect them from the obstacles, such as pests or diseases. When the organism is modified, it contains a foreign gene, which then will create a protective trait. Pests are usually a huge nuisance associated with agriculture and can result in lower crop yields, ultimately costing the farmer money and passing that down to the customer. By having a crop genetically modified to resist pests, this can economically benefit everyone. Also, crop yields will significantly be greater, producing more generous amounts of food. With a physically changing world, GMOs may prove effective in being a positive factor to dealing with climate change. For example, crops may be genetically modified for climatic change, such as prolonged drought or extreme rains, both of which prove detrimental to agriculture. Recently, plant biologists have been experimenting with genetically engineering crops such as corn and soybeans to absorb atmospheric carbon. This will be a very beneficial way to kill two birds with one stone. More food will be produced, while at the same time these crops will capture carbon, possibly reversing some of the effects of climate change. But this process may take a long time before it's implemented into the agricultural systems. Also, by increasing crop yields, GMOs can be a huge factor to fight food insecurity. It's estimated that nearly 1 billion people worldwide are hungry. By reducing genetically modified crops, food insecurity becomes less common. Although there are benefits to GMOs, there are also critics and skeptics. One criticism is the ecological environmental impact. For example, a study was done in the late 1990s that claimed that monarch butterfly larvae died after consuming milkweed plants covered in pollen from genetically modified corn. Another environmental concern is that genetically modified crops could transfer genes to wild relative crops and mix, resulting in unknown consequences. Other than environmental concerns, there are health concerns about consuming GMOs. Overall, GMOs have only been used in crop and food production for a half century. Some critics think that is too short of a time to gauge the safety of GMOs. Some of the health concerns include toxicity and food allergies. Now that we have covered what GMOs are and some of the positives and negatives of them, let's talk about how they're used in everyday foods. If you go to a conventional supermarket, it's likely you are buying a lot of genetically modified foods. Have you ever heard of Conagra? Well, if you haven't, it's a major consumer packaged food company which uses GMOs to produce their products. If you look at their brands, you'll instantly identify well-known ones that you've likely consumed, including Slim Jim, Duncan Hines, Hunt's, Reddi-wip, Bird's Eye Frozen Vegetables, and Orville Redenbacher's popcorn. Another company, General Mills, uses GMOs to produce food brands that you've also likely consumed. Overall, many mainstream food brands are produced by genetically modified ingredients. However, in the last decade, there has been a pushback from consumers and even certain brands about GMO foods. With the rise of social media, many arguments against GMOs have been expressed. This has led to some well-known brands using non-GMO ingredients. For example, look at this bag of Snyder's pretzels. It has a non-GMO badge on it. Also, this box of Near East pilaf rice has a badge like that too. Even this LaCroix sparkling water says it's non-GMO. Outside the supermarket, even chain restaurants such as Chipotle Mexican Grill, Panera Bread, eliminate the use of GMOs from their ingredients. So, this raises the question, are GMOs good or bad? Like I said before, I'm not going to answer that. It seems that it's a particular choice. Some people don't care if GMOs are in their foods, while others do. Is the non-GMO movement a gimmick advertised by companies to persuade their customers that their food is better? Maybe it is, but maybe it's not. All in all, it really comes down to a personal preference. Consumers can decide what is convenient for themselves. Nevertheless, we will see more of this debate pertaining to the use of GMOs in the future. What do you think? If you'd like to chime in on the GMO debate, please leave a comment below. Again, thank you for watching my video. Until next time!